Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we are checking out Newport Aquarium in Newport, Kentucky. The first thing you see here when you walked in was this cichlid tank with the waterfall dripping down and into the open top tank. And then right next to it were three separate tanks that flow into each other. The first one had a knifefish and some puffers, followed by some more small puffers with tetras, and lastly it had an eel inside of it. Next to them were three diversity down under tanks with Australian fish, including rainbows, followed by another cichlid with deep water cichlids. Then they had some of the most interesting fish I've seen there, which were blind cavefish. These guys actually lack eyes and pigment, so they rely on sensory organs to detect water pressure changes. I was then amazed by this beautiful planted tank that had some glass catfish, gouramis, loaches, and rainbow sharks in it. Next to that tank was another planted tank with discus fish and angelfish, as well as some neon tetras. Right next to them was the hellbender, which is actually the largest salamander in North America, which is pretty crazy. That led us to one of the coolest things that I like at aquariums, which are the massive tunnel tanks. This one had crappie, bass, and other North American fish in it. Once we were through the tunnel, that led us right to the shark nursery, which included nurse shark eggs, swell shark eggs, and striped catfish eggs. On the opposite side of that tank was the archerfish and snake neck turtles and upside down catfish. While we were at Newport Aquarium, we actually took a break from enjoying the fish and we checked out the penguin encounter. We got to meet the African penguins from Cape Town, which was in South Africa. Randy was the oldest penguin at 17, and the youngest was Lwazi at 3 years old. The penguins were nesting, so they could take the toys to their nests, and using 2 fingers, we were also allowed to pet the penguins. After that, we then headed back to where we left off at the diamondback turtle tank. Following the diamondback turtles was the pajama cardinal fish, along with some other cardinal fish. And then that led us to see these crazy things, which are large-scale 4 eyes. And they actually don't have 4 eyes, but they have 4 pupils that allow them to see below and above the surface as they sit on the surface of the water. Right behind that was actually the touch pool, where you could touch a bunch of different things such as anemones, starfish, and sea cucumbers. Next came one of my top favorite fish, which is the dogface puffer. Really thought this tank was pretty cool. It actually was half a tank and it had a wave motion kind of like that of the ocean, and it was actually with a spotted puffer as long with some tangs and Moorish idol in there. That led us to their open ocean atrium, which we definitely sat and spent some time in. We could see the sea turtle, the blacktip reef sharks, shark rays, Japanese bullhead sharks. The next tank that we got to see actually had the porcupine puffer in it, along with a moral eel. That also led us into the seahorses and razorfish, which the razorfish actually swims vertically, head down, while looking for plankton. Next to that was one of the most beautiful fish in the ocean, which is the mandarin goby. And then we got to see seahorses with some cuttlefish, and then the dwarf seahorses. We saw a lot of different seahorses, but some of my favorite ones are the weedy sea dragons that we got to see here, along with the big-bellied seahorse. Next was something awesome that I'd never really seen before, which was two tanks that were connected by these two tubes, and the whole thing was beautifully planked and had danios and other small fish swimming throughout it. Next was some frog spawn coral and bird nest coral right by the hatching harbor, which included some needlefish, some spadefish, angels, and boxfish, which all led into next spot, which was the Shipwreck Cove. As the sign said, it led us into some eels, which we saw some garden eels and some batfish, as well as some lionfish. And eventually we were taking to seeing a massive green moray eel. This moon tank was also beautiful, which had blennies in it and clownfish, as well as some green chromies. Leaving the fish section, we then headed into the reptile section, which started with this Chinese crocodile lizard, as well as some turtles, and then the Anderson's alligator newt and boa. Next was one of the coolest turtles I had ever seen, which was the four-eyed turtle, which gets its name from the green spots on its head. Next was this massive open-top tank full of channel catfish and alligators, as well as some turtles swimming throughout it. Moving on, we got to see some tomato frogs and leaf-tail geckos, as well as a rattlesnake. These two caiman lizards were also just chilling. That that led us to this glass bottom bridge, which was pretty cool. You could see plenty of fish hiding underneath of it, as well as crocodiles also in that tank. That was followed up by the cane toad, as well as the Solomon leaf frog, and the Solomon Island skink with some poison dart frogs. This frog hanging onto the glass is an Amazon milk frog. Leaving the main reptile section actually led us to the stingray pond, which you could touch stingrays and a couple different sharks with 2 fingers. Following that up was the rhino iguana and the red-sided curly-tailed lizard. That led us down to another tunnel tank, which included turtles and arapaimas. Followed by a saltwater tank tunnel, which led us to the Japanese spider crabs. Then we saw the giant Pacific octopus and some jellyfish. You then walk down the tunnel on the backside of the large saltwater tank, where you can see the sharks and sea turtles again. Following that, it leads you to Shark Central, where you can actually pet even more sharks. Following that, we headed to the penguin atrium, where you can sit and watch the penguin walk about and swim, which is the ending of the Newport Aquarium. So thanks for watching, everybody.